Hey everyone, welcome back again to Inside Indiana Overtime. Zach is down in Alabama covering the IU men's soccer team's championship tomorrow, so you're stuck with Justin Albers of Inside the Hall. Uh, he's a guest on here for the second time, actually, about a month ago. How does it feel to be back, Justin?
Big downgrade losing Zach for me, but I'll do what I can to help you out here.
Right, a lot less facial hair here. But no, another big blowout kind of here at home for IU. They beat Central Connecticut State 100-69 tonight. More free kicked over for the fans. Um, Cody Zeller has a huge night, 19 points, 19 rebounds. Christian Wofford leads with 21 points, and we can't forget about Matt Hunter from Central Connecticut State. He had 40 tonight after everyone hyped up Kyle Vanales, who was the leading scorer in the country. But just a huge night from him, and I guess um, looking at Zeller playing down low, he had a whole week off from the last game. What did you see from him tonight, Justin? That impressed you?
Obviously, he kind of crashed the boards maybe more aggressively than he normally does. And as you asked him after the game, I think it was you. He said just having the week off gave him a lot fresher legs than maybe he's had at other points this season. And Central Connecticut State's vastly undersized. I think their biggest guy was 6'6" or somewhere in that neighborhood. So he kind of had his way inside, and Indiana did as a team too. 51 rebounds as a team. Victor Oladipo had 9, almost a double-double. So
Yeah.
they kind of had their way inside, and Zeller certainly a big game, and numbers that he'll have to put up the rest of the year if he wants to continue to be considered and potentially win the Player of the Year when we're all said and done with this year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it just looked like he was bigger and stronger, which he is, than a lot of the Central Connecticut guys. I think IU had like 56 points in the paint. I mean, just something ridiculous. That was the most they've had this year, and they had 58 against I think Iowa or someone in February or January of this year. But yeah, just exerting their dominance down low, and even it looked like even Yogi Ferrell, who's like 5'10", a generous 5'10", was able to penetrate and was able to get to the hoop inside, which was not something we'd seen a whole lot. He had another very Yogi Ferrell night. Passed a lot more than he shot. Finished with 8 points and 6 assists. Still a big night. But Victor Oladipo, as usual, drew Vanales, who was the leading scorer on the team and actually the leading scorer in the country. And Oladipo again. Well, Crean said after the game that he wanted Sheehy and Oladipo to kind of alternate covering Vanales. But Oladipo tonight, another game where he just fills the stat sheet. Like you said, he almost had a double-double. He had 15 and 9, I think, and then he had 3 blocks and 5 steals. I mean, is this as good as Oladipo's played this year?
I mean, these back-to-back performances now where he's had 20 deflections in each game, both would be IU records and second all-time in Crean's coaching career, behind Dwayne Wade's 23. So I think he continues to get more and more aggressive, and what we saw from him in his first couple years here, maybe he just needed a defensive challenge to get him going, both on the defensive end and the offensive end. But now it seems like no matter who he's playing against, obviously this was the leading scorer in the country coming in, but no matter who he's playing against, he just brings it night in and night out. And it seems like everything with this team starts with Oladipo now, and it certainly would figure to keep going that way the rest of the year, because, I mean, when you have an energy guy like that, a guy that's so athletic, can create his own offense off of his defense, that's so dynamic and something you'll need come March and April.
Yeah, there's just something about those two juniors, Sheehy and Oladipo, where they're just spark plugs. Oladipo obviously starts and Sheehy comes in off the bench, but there's kind of a change in feel when Sheehy comes into the game, or when Oladipo's in the game, or when they're in the game together. That you just feel like they could go on a huge run, which they do a lot. And Sheehy and Oladipo are always kind of right in the middle of that, and they're going to get, they and Zeller are kind of going to get a little bit of help here next week against Butler when IU gets their two suspended freshmen back, Hannah Perea and Peter Jerkin. I guess, even Crean said after the game, we're not really sure exactly what we're going to get from them until we play in Indianapolis next week. Do you have any kind of feel what we can expect from these guys? I mean, we saw them scrimmage, we saw them we saw Jerkin in the exhibition game. Perea was still injured, But I mean, do you have any kind of a feel for what these guys could offer?
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot more from Perea, obviously
Yeah.
early than Jerkin. Jerkin will spell Zeller at times and offer the long arms and the 7-foot body to put in there. But Perea, from everything we've heard, is just a tremendous athlete. Everybody that is asked on the team who's the best or the better athlete, Oladipo or Perea, it's usually a toss-up. And knowing that,
Yeah.
it seems like that'd be pretty exciting to watch. We haven't gotten to see him play with this team yet, so
No.
that should be interesting. But keep in mind that they are playing a pretty good Butler team next week. So if Perea comes in, doesn't really gel initially with the rotation, they may not play him a whole lot on Saturday just because that's a game that may be competitive and a game they're going to be trying to win. But certainly over these next few games, we'll
Yeah.
start to see what Perea and potentially Jerkin can bring to this team. And you would think that they can bring a lot, just a lot more depth. Obviously today, losing Austin Etherington, you lose another guy just as you're starting to get some guys back, so that's unfortunate. But just adding more depth to this already deep team should be pretty important going forward.
Yeah, definitely. I think that'll help Zeller also down low, just to kind of take some of the load off him, so he can kind of maximize from the minutes that he gets, instead of having to be out there, for 30 minutes tonight. You have to think that Jerkin and Perea would kind of, like you said, kind of spell Zeller, and kind of get him some rest there. But yeah, I mean that Butler team actually does look pretty. I mean, the past few years they've been actually a pretty decent team, obviously with back-to-back national championship appearances. But yeah, the 3 games after, or the 2 or 3 games after Butler, and before Iowa, I think we're going to see a lot of Jerkin and Perea, just because they have to see some court time before Big Ten season. I mean, these first 9 games. Were just so important. Would have been so important for them to just get their feet wet against teams like Sam Houston State, against Coppin State, against here tonight
Right.
against Central Connecticut. So I'll be interested to see how they adjust. I don't expect brilliance. I don't expect like a 15-12 night for Perea anytime soon. But they're going to go out there and they're going to make their mistakes. They're going to learn. So it'll be interesting to see what they have. And that's actually the next time that IU plays. They have another week between games. They're almost on a football schedule here with 3 games in a row with a week between them. But that's the next time you'll see any of us. I'm not sure if I'll be there. I don't know. Do you know if you're going to be
Not yet.
traveling there?
We're
Yeah,
still waiting.
we're not really sure who's going to be there, but someone will, and you'll probably have a video to watch. But until then, thanks for joining us. Thanks again to Justin Albers of Inside the Hall. And you guys have a good week, and we'll see you soon.